Howdy. Today we're going to be looking at another guitar. This one is an Enya X4 Pro Mini. It is a little smaller than your standard guitar. I think the scale on a standard guitar is somewhere between 24 and 3/4 inches. The scale length between the nut and the saddle is between 24 and 7 3/4 or about 25 and a half, sometimes even a little bit larger. That's your sort of your standard scale length. This one is, I believe, 23.8 inches, so it's about an inch shorter than what you might find on most guitars. When you hold it, it feels a little smaller than a regular guitar, but it's very comfortable. As you can see right off the bat, it's carbon fiber top. It's a carbon fiber composite back, sides, neck with aluminum, an extra aluminum brace of some sort inside the neck. And it is adjustable. They did put a truss rod in it, which I'm very thankful for. And you'll find out in a minute why. This model comes with a 0 fret. You can see it right there, 0 fret. What that really means is that rather than using the nut to determine where the scale length starts, it actually starts at the 0 fret. The 0 fret is a little taller than the other frets so that you don't end up with any buzzing when you play open strings. This thing has a pretty big voice. You can see it has an offset sound port or sound hole. I'm strumming pretty hard there. I'm using an extra heavy pick, and I'm strumming pretty hard. And I have a pretty loud voice, but this guitar will give you a little bit of a workout if you're singing along with it, you know. Every star above knows the one I love is you, sweet Sue. It has a big voice. Amazingly, for a small body guitar, it has a pretty nice voice. The string balance, string to string, is quite good. I'm surprised. I didn't expect it to have as much bass as it does. I have the Enya X4 Pro standard model, which is larger, and it definitely is deeper sounding. But this one, I mean, if you were to, you know, play something and you wanted to either drop the D or play an E tuning, let's see if I can get this here going for you. It sounds pretty good. It also has ridiculous sustain. You can still hear it. It's got a ridiculous sustain. It's really, really very nice. I really have nothing bad to say about this guitar yet. I will have a few things to say, but really, it plays very easily. It sounds nice. It sounds like a guitar, amazingly. Not, you know, not like any other, well, let me grab a wood guitar here so you can hear the difference. This is a very nice sounding acoustic, very big, fat sounding. Adirondack top, mahogany back and sides, all solid woods. Nice big sound. But this is quite a bit bigger. And the Enya is quite a bit smaller, but it still has, it's probably almost as loud, and that thing is practically a cannon. Not as dark sounding. But the sustain, again, I can feel the whole thing vibrating. It's just amazing. They also put effects built into this, very much like a Tonewood amp. There's a transducer on the back that vibrates so that you can add effects while you're playing acoustically. In other words, I don't have this plugged in. Let me just add some chorus to it and see what it sounds like. Not a bad sounding chorus. And then it has delay. And it's relatively loud. You can also add reverb to it. Let me turn off the various other things. Let me just try a little reverb. And it's not bad sounding. And you can blend in a little chorus and a little reverb, and you can get, like, you know, so it's actually pretty decent sounding. I bought this directly from the American distributor. They're out of Texas. And there were a couple little slight goof ups there doing that, but I saved money doing that. I think this lists most places for $5.99, and it includes the guitar, as you can see, very shiny. Oh my golly. And it comes with a hard shell case, which is very shiny. I think the case that most people sell it with is a little different. This one is a hard shell case also, and is quite durable, and has nice hardware on it. The hardware on this thing is some pretty serious hardware. Doesn't look like it's going to break any time soon. It comes with straps and mounts on the case, so that you can actually wear this on your back, the case with the guitar in it. It comes with a strap for the guitar. These are actually the shoulder straps for the case. There are a couple of these. It comes with a strap for the guitar, a leather strap. So it comes with a lot of stuff. And as I've said in previous ones, you don't buy it for the extras, but they're nice. And a hard shell case nowadays, gosh, a decent hard shell case is going to be at least $100 most places. You know, it could be pushing closer to 200 these days. And so if you count that along with the $5.99 total price, now the guitar is all only $3.99, if you understand what I mean. You subtract the cost of the case and the strap and all that sort of stuff. It's probably more like you're getting the guitar for $3.99. And for $3.99, this thing is, in all fairness, it's pretty much of a steal. It depends on what you need. I mean, if you don't need a carbon fiber guitar because you don't go camping, because you don't occasionally leave your guitar in your case out in the car, and these things are pretty much impervious to heat, cold, wet, dry. You're in a canoe, you've lost an oar, you now have an oar. You know, it's... I probably wouldn't use it for that. I'm not sure how good this neck is held on. It is bolted on, just so you know. The neck is bolted on. It has a cantilevered neck. I don't know if you can see. Oh, yeah, there you can see it. You can see there's space underneath the end of the fingerboard. So that they claim it allows more of the top to vibrate and you get a bigger sound. And frankly, it's got a big sound for what it is. Has a very nice sound and very balanced. I have it now set up at very low action. I think I have it at 175 millimeters on the low E, 1, 2, 5 on the high E over the 12th fret. So it's very easy to play. Yeah, it has a very nice sound. Oh, it also has a built-in tuner. Unlike the other one, although the new ones have it, the new Enya X4 Pro full size have a built-in tuner. You can see I just pressed a button, and when I go like that, you'll see the little, it says E, A, there you go. So it has a built-in tuner, which is very nice. When I have the X4 Pro full size, the old one, the original, and I wasn't big on the tuners. I didn't like the way they felt. These feel very nice. They've done, I think they must be a newer tuner. Maybe they aren't, maybe I just got a bad set. But these feel very, very nice. The fretwork looks very nice. They round each of the ends of the frets. That's nice. What is the bad stuff? Okay, here we go. So I ordered one from the factory. Not from the factory, I'm sorry, from the American distributor out of Texas. And the first one they sent me, I took it, and within 12 hours of having the guitar, I removed the strings and started to put a new set on. But as soon as I removed the strings, frets started to just fall off the guitar. Now, I want to say that again because I'm sure you think you heard wrong. The frets just started to fall off the guitar. And it was one of those things that I was just about to string it up, and I was sort of checking the fret ends to see if there was anything I needed to do with them. And as I ran my fingers over it, one just went and popped out. I'm like, what's going on here? So I thought, well, let me see if it'll just fit back in. Well, when I went to fit it back in, I realized that the slots for the frets are wider than they need to be, that they aren't hammered into place, that most likely they're just glued into place, which is fine. I have no problem with that. That's considered normal work these days. It's not unusual to have the frets glued into place. But that one obviously hadn't been. And so I thought, well, let me first see if it'll just tap in. I set it in place and I gave it a little tap. And as I tapped it, 2 other frets popped out. And that's when I went, how many of these are loose? And I sort of went with my finger along the edge just like this, just sort of pulling upward, but not picking at it, just lifting my finger, and lots of them started to come off. So, at first, I mean, my wife loves the guitar. So at first I thought, well, I'll just glue them back in. You know, use CA glue, which is, to those who don't know what CA is, it's super glue. And just put a little bit in the slot on the back of the fret and in the slot, and just hold them into place till it dries. Do the next one just to go along. And as I was doing that, more of them were coming out. And that's when I was like, okay, I've had enough. Actually, I guess what really made me have enough is that I thought I'd gotten them all, and then the 0 fret, this one down here, popped out. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? So that's when I contacted Enya in Texas. And to their credit, within an hour of me sending an email on a Sunday I sent an email. Within an hour of sending an email, they sent me back one saying, we're so sorry, you know, that shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. You know, our fault, no problem. We'll send you out another one tomorrow. When you get it, when you get the new one, we'll have a slip in there that you can just put on, a shipping slip. You can put it on the old one back in the box, ship it back. You'll have a brand new one. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's what you hope a place will do. And they did it. They did the right thing. So they sent me a second one. This is Christmas week. This is the week, just a few days before Christmas. It shows up the Friday before Christmas. And so it got here quickly. And so I take it out of the box. And I thought, well, let me first tune it up and see if everything's working. Because I just wanted to do a quick once over. And I press the little button for the tuner, and you'll notice the little light goes on when it's on. But I pressed the button and it didn't go on. I wondered, and I thought, well, let me try just the effects, see if that turns it on. And that didn't. So then I thought, well, maybe the battery just maybe it's been in the warehouse a while and the battery's so run down that it just isn't working. Actually, I end up charging it overnight finally. Nothing. It wasn't doing anything. I sent them another email, hey, the electronics aren't working on this. And they, again, to their credit, right away, they sent back an email, gosh, we're so sorry. But I did say in my email, I suggested, I do know the electronics in the other one are working. I could change them out. I mean, I do this, as you can see behind me, I do guitar repair for a living. And so I said, you know, I could change out the electronics, remove this unit, put the other one in, install it, you know, just, and get it done. And, you know, you don't need to send me a third one. The frets on this one seem to be okay. And so they're like, great, let us know what happens after you charge it. So I charged it overnight. It didn't work. And before I contacted them again, I thought I'd find out what is really going on with this unit. So what did I do? I popped the knobs off. The knobs have a collar that is almost like a screwdriver type thing that you can undo. And when you get all four of them out, it just falls off. And it's plugged into, it has little 8th and I believe 16th inch jacks on it for the pickup, for the transducer that goes to the back, and also the output that goes to the output jack here. And so I unplugged the 3, popped, the whole unit comes out of this hole pretty easily. I just pulled it out, removed it. I had another 18650 brand new battery, put it in, hit the button, it turns right on. I checked the battery on my multimeter. It's reading, out of the 4.2 volts it should read, it's reading 0.02 volts. 0.02 of a volt. So obviously and that's after being fully charged. So it's not working, that battery. I put it back in and like I said, it works perfectly now and plays really nicely. So what is my takeaway from that experience? Just make sure they go over to make sure you don't get sent one with things that are missing. The other concern is that on both of the, well, now it's 3 guitars from Enya I've gotten, these all have a bolt-on neck. That's fine. They're carbon fiber. They're bolt-on, and it's a tight system. You can't see. There's no way to see a gap between that neck heel and the body. There is no gap. But and you won't see one either. However, there are 2 bolts in here, and they're used an Allen wrench to tighten them. If you get one, even if you buy it from a store like Musician's Friend, it's very likely you're going to need to tighten that first. I had the right wrench, and I put it in here, and you need to tighten it down. Somebody might say, well, gee, it's already snug to the body. Why would you need to tighten it down? Even snug to the body, if the bolts are not at least finger tight, and that's how tight I did. I didn't like go in here and then start pulling with my arm or using my wrist. I just used my fingers to pull up on the wrench and then move it again and pull up on it and keep pulling on it until it was finger tight. Till I was like, okay. I mean, I could have probably pulled it harder, but I wanted to do it mostly with just doing this with my fingers. So I was tightening with just my fingers on that wrench. And by doing that, it did change the neck angle just a little bit. Not much, but enough that the action went down slightly. The neck became snugger to the body, and you hear the sustain. The sustain is unbelievable in this. The sustain is unbelievable. It's still going. So that's worth doing. All of the ones, all 3 of them. My big one, the one that had the bad frets, I checked that neck before I bothered trying to change the strings, and it was a little loose. It was a little loose. And on this one, it was a little loose. Now that it's tight, I don't think it's getting loose again. But that's something to be aware of. So the question is, Is it a good guitar? Is it worth the money? Oh my God, it's definitely worth the money. If you need a guitar that's essentially indestructible, one that you can go camping with, one that you can put in your car, and if it, oh my gosh, if it's like, wintertime or summertime, whatever, hot, cold, wet, dry, it doesn't matter. This is going to be relatively impervious to that. Would I really use it as an oar? Probably not, unless I really needed one. It's you're not going to use it as an oar, not just to show a friend and be funny about it, but if you really needed one to save your life, this would work. This would work. It would get you around. I wouldn't push it too hard, but I would probably take my time and use it. It's a strong little guitar. It's not as heavy as the full-size one. The full-size one is almost 6 pounds. This one, I believe, is 4.8 pounds, something like that. So it feels nice. Has a real nice feel. Real nice weight. Has a nice sound. This is not a video where I'm going to play a lot of stuff for you. I did play a little bit just to show you. It has a nice sound. It's a nice guitar. And it's plenty loud. It competes with regular guitars that are full size. Yeah. So would I buy it again? Definitely. Even when I got one with the frets popping off, I thought, if I get one without frets popping off, I think this is going to be a nice guitar. And then I got one with electronics that weren't working. And even then, a guy who's been repairing guitars for over 50 years, even then I said, let me see if I could just change the unit out, because it's a nice guitar. Carbon fiber, what do other carbon fiber guitars cost? Well, you can get them for about $1,000 now, $800 to $1,000. $600? And then even less if you include the case. Holy moly. Unbelievable deal. Weird buying it from the distributor, but it's a great little guitar. Keep in mind that the reason I bought it from the distributor is because I'm as cheap as dirt, and everyone else was selling this for $5.99, some places even more. They were selling it for $5.09, $90 off. Now I found out why. But I got a good one, finally. I got a good one, and it's a great one. Enjoy. Take care.